All right, welcome. In this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain and really look under the hood of the tech that pretty much runs our digital lives. We're going to unpack the anatomy of your smart device, piece by incredible piece.
I mean, have you ever stopped to really think about it? How your phone just knows the one route that'll save you 10 minutes? Or what about when you take a photo and post it online?
And bam, it instantly recognizes every single one of your friends. It feels totally seamless, almost like it's psychic.
Or how about this? You're texting, and your keyboard is literally finishing your sentences for you, guessing the exact word you were about to type. As cool as all this is, and it is very cool, it's not actually magic. What it is a complex, deeply interconnected ecosystem of amazing technologies all working in perfect harmony. Okay, let's dive into this. So at the very heart of this whole operation, the part that's making all the smart decisions is what we can think of as the brain, and that's artificial intelligence.
So, what is AI, really? Well, you can think of it as our attempt to build machines that can mimic the way we think. You know, things like learning from experience, solving problems, and making decisions, all without a person telling it exactly what to do every step of the way. And this brain has some pretty incredible abilities. First up is machine learning, which is how it learns to spot traffic jams or recognize your face without someone having to code every single possibility. Then you have natural language processing, or NLP. That's the magic that lets you talk to your smart assistant or helps your phone predict your next word. And finally, immersive experiences, which are totally changing the game for how we interact with digital worlds. Now, the difference between these two is super important. Virtual reality, or VR, completely replaces your world. You put on a headset and you are somewhere else entirely. But augmented reality, AR, that's different. It adds to your world. It overlays digital info onto what you're already seeing. Think of those apps that let you point your phone at the night sky and see all the constellations labeled. Okay, so if AI is the brain, that brings up a pretty obvious question. What's it feeding on to get so smart? You know, a brain needs information, it needs experiences to learn. So where does an AI get its smarts?
The answer is data, a truly mind-boggling amount of data. This is the fuel for our AI engine. This is what we call big data.
And when I say mind-boggling, I am not exaggerating. Right now, we are creating about 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every single day. That's a 2 with 18 zeros after it. Every post, every picture, every search query, it all adds up. So big data doesn't just mean a lot of data. It refers to data sets that are so massive, so fast-moving, and so complex. We're talking tweets, videos, sensor readings that the old-school software just can't keep up.
You know, to really make sense of this, people often talk about the 5 Vs. First, there's the sheer volume, of course. But then there's velocity, the insane speed it's all being created. It also comes in a huge variety of forms. Then you've got to worry about veracity, which is just, can we even trust this data? And if you can manage all of that, you get to the most important V, the value. Finding those hidden gems of knowledge inside all that noise.
Okay, so we have the AI brain and we have the big data fuel. But they need a body, right? A network of senses to gather all that info, and a place to store it all, a memory. And that is the next piece of our anatomy. The senses of our system? That's the Internet of Things, or IoT. We're talking about all the physical gadgets out there, your smartwatch, security cameras, smart speakers, even the sensors embedded in a city bridge. They're like the eyes and ears of the network, constantly collecting data from the physical world and feeding it back to that AI brain. So where in the world do you put 2.5 quintillion bytes of data and the supercomputers needed to process it? Well, not on your phone, that's for sure. It all lives in the cloud. Cloud computing is basically this massive, on-demand memory and processing powerhouse that makes this whole thing possible.
And the cloud offers different kinds of services. The easiest way to think about it is like pizza. Infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, is like renting a professional pizza oven. You still have to bring your own dough and toppings. Platform as a service, or PaaS, is like they give you the oven and all the ingredients, you just have to assemble the pizza. And then there's software as a service, SaaS. That's what most of us use, like Gmail or Netflix. That's just having the pizza delivered right to your door, ready to eat.
So we've built this incredibly powerful system, but with so much data and so many automated decisions flying around, a huge new challenge pops up. How do we actually trust it? This brings us to a technology that's trying to build a whole new foundation for digital trust.
I love this quote because it really gets to the heart of it. The goal isn't just to build faster computers anymore. It's to build systems that are meaningful, that are reliable, that we can actually trust.
And that's exactly where blockchain steps in. Instead of having one central company controlling a database, a blockchain is like a shared digital notebook. A copy is given to everyone in the network, and nobody can alter a page without everyone else agreeing to it. This creates an incredible layer of security and transparency.
So how does it work? Well, a transaction happens in 4 pretty simple steps. First, somebody requests a transaction. That request is then broadcast out to every computer on the network. Then, the whole network works together to verify that the transaction is legit. And only once it's confirmed by the group is it added to the chain as a new, permanent, unchangeable block.
All right, so we have all the individual parts on the table. Let's put them all together now and look at the complete anatomy of our connected world. And here it is, the whole shebang. You have the IoT devices acting as the senses, constantly gathering information. They produce big data, which is the fuel. That fuel powers the AI, our brain, that makes all the decisions. The whole thing runs on the vast memory and power of the cloud. And blockchain is coming in as the trust ledger to make sure the whole system is reliable. The crucial thing to get is that none of these work in isolation. They are one single, powerful, interconnected system.
So we've unpacked the tech behind the magic, but knowing how it all works raises a really important new question. As this entire system, this brain, with its global senses and its infinite memory, becomes more and more powerful and more integrated into our lives, what does it truly mean for us to be in control?